Why McDonald's is better in Europe? Oh my God. Oh, the fucking Euro pores, dude, are going to be all over me if I click this. Oh God. This is going to be a disaster. Oh God.
On November 19, 2022, Juan Baus tweeted this picture. Absolutely loving the design of this reusable packaging that's being introduced at McDonald's France. The reusable packaging went viral, like really viral. Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, retweeted him and said something French. We saw all of this and had a lot of questions. How come McDonald's is introducing this type of packaging? Why in France? And why does it look so good?
Looks fine, I guess.
In the following months, we went down a rabbit hole and ended up modeling the entire dishware collection. As it turns out, sleek fry containers tell many stories. How the European Union is bringing conglomerates like McDonald's to their knees, not just in France, but all over the continent.
Okay.
How a country known for everything fancy developed a truly unique relationship with fast food and a completely different type of McDonald's, McDo.
McDonald's in France, you don't understand how popular it is.
And, of course, how good design can transform experiences.
Have you ever been to a McDonald's in Paris?
No? Why?
Emily in Paris.
This is your life in
Ambient
weeks
TV.
if you are lucky enough to turn 80 years old. And this is the amount of time you spent on your career. 80,000 hours. We choose to spend this time on researching McDonald's packaging for YouTube videos. You probably want to spend all that time on
Is it gonna
something
be Skillshare or
meaningful
something?
that makes a big positive difference in the world. 80,000 Hours is also the name of today's sponsor, a non-profit that wants to help you figure out how to do that. They've been researching the question of how you can find a fulfilling career that Yo, Juan, would you be down? He was.
There is something there with the whole ad campaign around it, and I think people's reactions to it are quite good. But then also maybe like the question is like, are people gonna steal this?
When Juan is not going viral and getting featured in Drew Gooden videos, he's a UX writer for some of the biggest brands out there. Oh, and Juan also lives in Paris.
Cool.
To get a better look at this weird new packaging, we needed a man on the ground. Juan was that man.
I don't get the packaging. It looks fine, I guess. Looks like a red cup. Am I missing something? It doesn't look that. It's not. It doesn't look that crazy.
The design is truly spectacular. We will get to that in a minute. First, we need to understand why this is happening. As we reviewed Juan's footage and dug deeper, we realized that it's not just the packaging that makes French McDonald's special.
Okay.
Chapter 1. The Rise of McDo.
Fast food in France do not seem like a good match. It's the country of fine dining,
Sure.
Michelin stars and long-lasting dinners in cozy bistros. When McDonald's came to the country in 1997, the French were skeptical.
70, 80 top chefs in the country took out a newspaper ad in the country's biggest newspaper saying that they thought it was preposterous that McDonald's was coming to France. And they were like, this is absolutely ridiculous. We need to stop this fast food thing.
But they could not help but indulge, like everybody else on the planet.
People like the fucking convenience.
C'est plus complet, c'est plus sympa.
Nonetheless, the company remained controversial for decades. In 1992, it launched a poster campaign showing the French chef and absolute superstar Paul Bocuse secretly dreaming about a Big Mac while examining a pile of plump chickens. The chef sued right away for $2.7 million.
When I found out these were real
Wait,
big...
they didn't get his permission? That's fucking... Bro, you can't just take someone's likeness and have them dream about a Big Mac. That's fucked up. That's like something fucking a YouTuber would. That's not fucking... McDonald's can't do that.
Mac advertisements. I immediately contacted my lawyers and instructed them to seek damages. How can I be seen promoting this tasteless, boneless food in which everything is soft?
Unless, level 2, this guy did agree to it, got a huge paycheck, but then was like, I don't want to be seen promoting it. So he pretended, I'm going to sue.
His lawyer added the ad would be
An intolerable insult to the Pope of world cuisine.
7 years later, it got much worse for the fast food chain. At the time, the World Trade Organization and the US were trying to force Europe to accept imports of hormone-induced beef. Europe resisted, and the US in turn imposed heavy duty.
It's incredibly tasty, Europores. If you don't love tasty, hormone-juiced up beef, then you don't understand fine dining. It's fucking awesome. The more stuff you can inject into your organic meats, the better it tastes.
On certain luxury products.
Almost feels like you guys are anti-science, which feels pretty backwards.
As a retaliatory measure. One of the items targeted was Roquefort cheese from France. French sheep farmers were angry, and they found a symbol of American global capitalism and trade doctrine like no other: McDonald's. So a French horde went and utterly wrecked a restaurant of the chain, which was currently under construction in the small French city Millau. The horde was led by the activist and sheep farmer José Bové, the Frenchest-looking man of all time. I mean, what even is this pipe? The McDonald's incident made Bové a national hero and leader of the French anti-globalization movement. He published a best-selling book 2 years later. And in 2007, he ran for president. Later, he went into European politics, all on the back of really hating McDonald's.
José Bové rose to global fame 15 years ago after he demolished a half-built McDonald's.
However, despite Bové's crusade, McDonald's could not be slayed.
Amen, brother.
Off the bat, it had a competitive advantage over brasseries, bistros, and cafes. The restaurants were designated as takeout joints. This meant the value-add tax was just 5.5% versus the 19.6% at gastronomic restaurants. The food was cheap and the French economy was bad, like always. Another factor played a much bigger role.
So like always. That's actually such a throwaway line, but what a huge fucking nuclear missile.
McDonald's always has been good at inserting itself into the local culture of the country it operates in. But nowhere has it succeeded on such a scale as in France. The company realized that French customers were drastically different from American ones. Americans visited McDonald's more often, at any time of the day, frequently alone, opting for takeout 70% of the time.
Kind of sad when you think about where we just shovel it into our mouths alone at any time of day. I'm guilty. I do a little fucking midnight nuggies run pretty recently, actually, like fucking 2 days ago.
In contrast, the French came in groups, spent more money per visit, and significantly more time in the restaurants. 70% of them dropped in during regular lunch and dinner hours. French McDonald's was not treated like a takeout place by customers, but like any other bistro. As NPR puts it, sitting down to a meal is a cornerstone of French culture. So the chain adapted. In the US, its restaurants are designed to attract people from afar.
So they got to just undercut their competitors by exploiting a loophole in the tax system. USA! USA! We figured that business shit out! You guys are fucking...
Golden M glooming high, calling you to that sweet, sweet drive-in in a car. The interior is often a little uncomfortable, intended to minimize customer visiting time and maximize purchasing turnover. In France, the restaurants are often sleek, modern, and comfortable. You can find relatively cozy corners designated specifically for larger groups of people. Sometimes there's even table service.
Oh shit.
On the outside, the Golden M is often subdued on the facade. The architecture is regionally diverse. McDonald's in France almost doesn't feel like fast food. That is so apparent, even the dumbest show on the planet, Emily in Paris, noticed.
This is so chic. There's no grimace, no hamburglar.
What's a hamburglar?
Never mind.
Products are locally sourced.
That's the dialogue? Never mind. It would be better, only be better if the hamburger was right behind her at the same time. He's right behind me, isn't he?
And there are unique offerings like the obvious McBaguette, but also a Croque McDo. McDonald's does this everywhere, of course, but they do it very well in France. There's a funny little review of the world-famous La Dorée macarons in Paris on TripAdvisor. The reviewer concludes, the macarons taste the same as the ones sold at McDonald's across the road, except for 4 times as much as the price. You see, this person from London is not just angry, they are onto something. The macarons at McDonald's are indeed manufactured by the same company. Today, McDonald's is universally called McDo in France. It is a cultural institution and even has its own slogan.
Venez comme vous êtes. So like, come as you are.
It is considered to be one of the biggest and most profitable markets for McDonald's in the world.
That's crazy.
So McDo is special. But why would they come up with reusable dishware? It seems like quite the hassle. Well, the root of it all is the EU.
Of course.
Chapter 2. The EU's War on Plastic.
Sometimes people don't realize how powerful the EU actually is. The European Union's executive body, the Commission, can issue directives. These directives are goals, which must be achieved by all member countries. But every country can decide on how to get there. Once translated into national law, the member states must notify the Commission, which in turn checks if it is A-OK. Then, the directive needs to be enforced in every country. If a member fails, it may get fined. A particularly famous directive is Directive 2019/904 of the European Parliament and of the Council of 5 June 2019. Okay, whatever, nerds. Basically, it's a big EU move to reduce the impact of plastic on the environment. This includes the much ridiculed ban of plastic straws and balloon sticks. But in truth, it goes much further than plastic straws becoming paper ones. For example, the directive makes single-use plastic producers pay to clean up single-use trash. And finally, the important point, it forces member countries to find ways to reduce the consumption of single-use plastics, such as food containers and beverage cups. France is always exceedingly extra and top of the class in
I'm invested in a company that, I won't say it, but a company that does plastic recycling.
combating plastic. They've gone way above what was expected and banned new single-use plastic packaging from 2040. From early 2025, new plastic packaging has to be made of 100% recycled plastic. And since the beginning of 2023, single-use packaging is banned from French fast food restaurants. Which brings us to this.
Chapter 3. Le dessin est incroyable.
When we first chatted with Juan, he shared our initial fascination with the French McDonald's reusable packaging.
If you look at the fries basket, like it looks sort of, you can immediately tell what it is, like a McDonald's fries basket. But it looks kind of modern. It looks kind of like, apple-fied. Yeah, they kind of nailed it with the design.
Juan also filmed how you ultimately return the dishware. The process seems a lot more dignified than the usual dumping of 500 kilograms of trash into an oversized, nasty, overflowing eat-it-all bin.
Yum, dude. What's the point? What is the point of eating fast food if you can't fucking fill up a garbage can with it? They're just taking out all the fucking fun parts. I want to smash it full. And I want someone to take that off to a landfill just 20 miles outside of the town I live in.
Nasty, overflowing eat-it-all bin. We went on to model the dishware based on his footage and promotional material. Because why not? It's undeniably French. The design studio behind it is called Ilium. They picked a plastic called Trident for the various containers, which is similar to glass and ceramic in its hardness and transparency, and preserves the organoleptic qualities of the food. Vents, graining, striations have all been designed to address their functions in the back.
Hey, why do the fries look so not tasty, though, in all these examples? Why do the fries look like they're made of fucking cheese or something? These CGI, I know they look bad. All the examples they look CGI fried. I don't like it.
Best possible way.
It throws
Greasy
me off.
hands need great grip. The development of this technology took over 2 years, and surprisingly, it gets stolen a lot. The reused dishware went viral with good right, but it's just one small part of a much more elegant whole. For a country where eating at the restaurant is the norm, it makes even more sense that the food is not needlessly overpacked anymore. However, it's unclear if relying on reusable plastic is actually more sustainable than switching to long-wearing glass or china. The French government promises to remain vigilant on this question. McDonald's has been doing very tiny steps towards improving their packaging for more than 30 years. Ironically, we made a video in German before knowing about all this, criticizing the chain for greenwashing their enormous trash footprint in Germany and pretend fixing the issue. Some EU directives and one chunky national law later, we get this. To us, this is a story of how business, if set on the right track through legislation, can really leap forward. McDo really did turn around the French anti-plastic legislation to their benefit, simply through introducing a design so...
Wait, how is it the conclusion? Didn't you say that you weren't even sure if it was more sustainable?
Noteworthy.
I mean, I like this part of the video, basically like right here to here, where they talked about how McDonald's got popular in France. That was really interesting. The constant showcasing of the blender animation they made of the fry basket was like whatever. I mean, that was...
People talk about it. Like us.
Still interesting. I still overall like the video. Pretty cool. I didn't know any of that about McDo in France. I think his whole point was that America's perfect, though. I wasn't listening to all of it. I think his whole point was that America does everything right, and that other countries feel like they have a lot they can learn from us. And that is cool. I'm glad they're thinking of that. That's cool. I actually really appreciate that. It's like big of them.